In a lush valley, cradled between towering mountains, there was a small village. The villagers lived simple lives, their days filled with the steady rhythms of nature. Fields of golden grain swayed in the breeze, rivers sparkled in the sunlight, and the soft hum of life carried through the air. But amidst all the beauty, there was one who felt out of place, the young girl named Serafina. From the moment she was born, Serafina was different. While others found contentment in the world below, she gazed longingly at the sky, the birds that soared above the village, the way the clouds drifted through the heavens. It filled her heart with a deep yearning. She would sit by the river, her eyes fixed on the sky, dreaming of what it would be like to fly among the clouds, to leave the earth behind. Days turned to months and months into years. The other children grew up playing in the meadows, learning to care for animals and tending to their families. But Serafina's thoughts were always with the sky, the only place where she felt truly free. The villagers often found her standing on the hill at the edge of the village, her gaze lost in the distance, wondering what lay beyond the mountains and the valleys. One evening, when the sun cast long shadows over the land, Serafina wandered deeper into the forest than she had ever gone before. The trees whispered in the wind, their ancient trunks twisted with age. The deeper she went, the more the air seemed to hum with an unfamiliar energy. The forest seemed alive, its secrets hidden in the shadows, and Serafina felt the pull of something ancient, something magical. In the heart of the forest, she came upon a small clearing. In the center, there was a stone, unlike any she had ever seen. It shimmered softly in the fading light, its surface smooth and glowing with an ethereal light. Serafina approached the stone, her fingers reaching out to touch its surface. As her hand made contact, a warm surge of energy pulsed through her. The stone seemed to awaken, and with it, a strange tingling sensation spread across her back. Before she could understand what was happening, the ground beneath her feet seemed to vanish. She felt herself lifted as though a force beyond her control was guiding her. Her back burned with a new sensation, and before she could fully grasp what was occurring, two great wings emerged from her shoulders. They were delicate yet strong, covered in feathers that shimmered like the moonlight. Serafina gasped as she looked over her shoulder, unable to believe what had just happened. The wings stretched out wide, catching the wind. She could feel the power within them, a power that lifted her from the ground with ease. Tentatively, she flapped them, and to her astonishment, she rose higher, floating gently above the forest floor. With each beat of her wings, she soared higher into the sky, her heart racing with a mix of wonder and fear. The world below shrank as she flew, and the sense of freedom was overwhelming. The trees, the village, the rivers, all were mere dots beneath her. The air felt fresh and pure, and the clouds whispered to her as she passed through them. She flew higher, above the treetops, over the valleys, until the mountains that once seemed so far away appeared small and distant. The sky was vast, stretching endlessly in every direction. Serafina felt weightless, free from the earth that had always held her down. She reveled in the feeling of the wind rushing past her, the sun warming her skin as she soared. The horizon opened before her like a promise, and she felt that at last she had found the place where she truly belonged. But as the day turned to evening, Serafina began to feel a tug at her heart. The sky, as magnificent as it was, felt empty without the village, without the people she had known her entire life. She thought of the soft earth beneath her feet, the sweet scent of the flowers, and the warmth of the hearth back home. The sky offered freedom, but the earth offered connection, belonging. Her heart ached with the weight of the decision she had not yet made. Reluctantly, Serafina turned back toward the ground. She descended slowly, the air growing cooler as she neared the earth. The wings, which had once felt so light, now felt heavy as she neared the forest clearing once again. She landed softly, her feet brushing against the grass as she folded her wings against her back. The magic of the wings had not faded, but the longing for the world below pulled at her. Days passed, and Serafina could not escape the pull of the sky. Each day she helped in the village, tended to the fields, and lived the life she had always known. But as evening fell, she would retreat to the forest where the stone awaited. Each time her wings would emerge, and she would fly into the sky once again, feeling the rush of freedom that only the heavens could offer. But every time she returned to the earth, a sadness settled over her. The earth offered warmth, comfort, and connection, but the sky offered solitude and the promise of something more. The two worlds tugged at her heart, pulling her in opposite directions. She felt torn between the vastness of the sky and the grounded familiarity of the world below. One evening, as the sun dipped below the mountains, Serafina flew higher than ever before. She pushed herself above the clouds, higher into the deep blue of the sky. For a long while she soared, lost in the beauty of the vast, endless expanse. But as she flew, she noticed something. There were others like her, winged beings who danced through the air with grace and ease. They moved together, their wings beating in perfect harmony, their forms glowing softly in the dimming light. Serafina followed them, drawn by the beauty and serenity they exuded. She longed to be a part of their dance, to join them in their flight. But as she drew closer, the beings seemed to fade away, vanishing into the clouds, leaving her alone in the vast sky. Serafina paused, hovering in the air, her heart heavy with a deep loneliness. Though she was free to soar, the sky had become a place of emptiness, a place where even the other winged beings had vanished. With a heavy heart, Serafina began her descent. As she returned to the earth, the village came into view, its lights twinkling softly in the distance. The air felt warmer here, and the ground beneath her feet was familiar. She landed gently, folding her wings against her back, and walked toward the village. Over time, Serafina began to understand. The sky, with its freedom and endless beauty, was a part of her, but so too was the earth. The connection to the people she loved, the land that had nurtured her, and the simple, quiet beauty of life on the ground, these were just as important as the freedom she found in the air. She no longer needed to choose between the two. She could carry the sky in her heart and live with the earth beneath her feet. Each day, Serafina lived as she always had, grounded in the village, helping with the fields and caring for those she loved. But each evening, as the sun set and the stars began to shine, she would spread her wings and soar into the sky, embracing both the beauty of the earth and the freedom of the heavens. She found balance in the two worlds, knowing that each held its own magic. In time, Serafina became known as the girl with wings, the one who could touch both the earth and the sky. And though she had once been torn between the two, she had discovered that true freedom did not lie in choosing one over the other, but in embracing both the ground beneath her and the sky above her. And so, Serafina lived her life, a creature of both the earth and the sky, always remembering that the world is vast and full of beauty, whether seen from the highest peaks or the deepest valleys.